Good evening, supervisors, staff, and guests. Please do roll call, sign in. That isn't working. Okay.
Assuming you got to use your little pad there. There you go.
Kathy, are you signed in? Okay, we have everybody, I guess. 16 present, we have 5 absent, so we do have a quorum. Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'd like to welcome Emma Wagner. Emma, you want to stand up? Emma's our student ambassador for the government day, for our government, student in government. She's sitting in on the meeting tonight, so. All right, please join me, if you can, in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I need a motion to approve the amended agenda because we are not going to have the training session tonight because there are 4 of our supervisors not here, and they should really be here for that training. So it will be a motion for amending the agenda. I have a motion by Supervisor Cleveland and a second by Supervisor Voigt. All in favor of that, please vote your ballot. All right, we have 16 yes, 0 nay, 5 absent. Moving on, you have the minutes of the April 16th, 2024 meeting. I need a motion to approve. I have a motion by Supervisor Schwallenberg and a second by Supervisor Johnston. Are there any questions regarding the minutes or corrections? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. All right, we have 16 yes, 0 nay, 5 absent. Are there any communications?
I have no communications.
Is there any public participation? I don't see any over there. All right, moving on to special business. We have with us tonight Alyssa Reinke from Northeast Wisconsin Stormwater Consortium, and she's going to give us a presentation of what they do and why it benefits Calumet County as a member. Good evening, Alyssa.
Good evening. I do have a PowerPoint, and it's up. Perfect. I promise this looked better when I left the office. Sometimes it just gets funky from going from a flash drive to another computer. So thank you for having me. I'm Alyssa Reinke. I am the Northeast Wisconsin Stormwater Consortium Coordinator. We'd like to call it NEWSC because that is a mouthful. So NEWSC is a division of the Fox-Wolf Watershed Alliance. It's an organization dedicated to addressing stormwater management issues in the Northeast Wisconsin region. NEWSC collaborates with local government, businesses, and communities to promote sustainable stormwater practices, reduce pollution, and protect water quality. Water quality is our overall mission, and you can't achieve water quality by only doing one thing, and that's really great with Fox-Wolf because we do focus on most or as many issues as we can. Our efforts include education, outreach, technical assistance to help stakeholders implement effective stormwater management strategies, but our main focus is to facilitate efficient implementation of stormwater programs locally and regionally that will meet DNR and EPA regulatory requirements and maximize the benefits of stormwater activities to the watershed by fostering partnerships, sharing information, seeking administrative efficiencies, and pooling financial resources. NEWSC aims to foster a holistic approach to stormwater management that considers environmental, economic, and social factors to ensure long-term health and resilience of the region's stormwater resources. So as of 2024, we do have 5 county members, including Calumet County, 11 city members, 15 village members, 12 town members, 18 corporate members, and 1 university member, which comes to 62 total members. So that's roughly 45 plus municipal members, about 18 businesses, and 1 university. The way that NEWSC works is we have a elected leadership council committee that oversees 4 of our 4 committees. The chairperson of that committee is actually Brent, who's hiding and likes to not say anything over there, from Calumet County, but he is amazing. So the leadership council is composed of representatives from key stakeholders such as government officials, business members. That is an elected official from the members. The council provides overall strategic direction and oversight for NEWSC's activities. They set goals, approve budgets, and make decisions regarding the organization's priorities and initiatives. Our 4 committees each focus on key elements of stormwater compliance to our members. We have the General Public Committee. We have, the Stormwater Quality Management Committee. They primarily work with educating, planning, and resources for MS4 management, elected leaders, municipal employees, and the general public. They provide guidance and education to municipal stormwater professionals and elected leadership regarding the MS4 permitting and management. They provide information on stormwater best management practices, BMPs, relating to TMDL implementation, total maximum daily load. And they research and provide information on new technologies. We have the Municipal Committee. They work on developing really whatever municipal employees need that are working in stormwater. They provide educational opportunities for municipal employees, update and distribute educational materials for municipal employees, provide guidance on education on the illicit discharge detection and elimination, pollution prevention, good housekeeping, storm sewer system mapping, annual reporting, and the list goes on. Additionally, we have the Building and Development Committee. They develop model ordinances and reference guides, sediment and erosion control references and training opportunities. Their key focus is kind of that construction side, whether it's the private or the public. How are we going to stay within those regulations, and how do we make these complicated rules easier to digest? Additionally, we have the General Public Committee. They develop educational opportunities, create and distribute NEWSC member resources. They have general public education. So we have a public-facing website, maybe you've seen it, it's called Renew Our Waters, that has a bunch of resources for residents and private businesses. So we're going to do a little bit of a deep dive. We're going to talk about the MS4, the Municipal Separate Stormwater Sewer System, permitting through DNR. So NEWSC has the resources to help you meet your MS4 permitting needs. So you'll see on the screen that there are these minimum control measures, and these are all things that you have to check the box for when you're filling out your permit with DNR at the end of the year. And NEWSC really does fill in a lot of these gaps. So for illicit discharge detection and elimination, that's preventing illegal discharges, pollutions from entering storm sewer systems in our local waterways, and providing a plan of action for finding pollution sources. So we provide trainings and workshop opportunities for our members. We are able to do that also at a discounted rate due to the membership dues coming in. We have training videos, standard forms and documentation, and just a lot of other resources for municipal employees, businesses, and the general public to just help prevent these things from happening. We have pollution prevention. So pollution prevention, really the big key of this is the education and knowledge of pollution prevention from coming into contact with stormwater. We, again, provide workshops and training opportunities, training videos, standard forms and documentations, but education is a huge, huge part of this, from the municipal side to the private side to the residential side. We have construction site pollution prevention. So this is, again, primarily that building and development committee. So they're creating model ordinances, reference guides, giving trainings and workshops, sometimes bringing in private, kind of expensive folks to come in at a discounted rate so that our members have that ability to get continuing education credits if they're an engineer, for example. And they also provide other educational resources. One of those is it's called the Pocket Field Guide. So you take it out with you at your construction site and you follow the list and go check, 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 make sure that you're not in violation of anything if DNR wants to stop. Construction sites are one of those things that if they see an issue, they're gonna stop and look at it. We have the post-construction stormwater management as well. This is primarily looking at those BMP, best management practices. We're doing research in those areas, again, model ordinances, references, trainings and workshops, other educational resources. But the big thing that you see NEWSC doing year-round is the public outreach and education, public involvement and participation. So with the MS4, you have to have active education, passive education, and public involvement volunteer. So we host and do things all the time. We'll be in Chilton again tomorrow, talking with some residents and employees about stormwater prevention, pollution, and providing a bunch of really fun education opportunities for them. But maybe one of the biggest things that we do with the volunteer aspect of it is our watershed cleanup. This is an annual event. We just had it 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. It's always the first Monday, or the first Saturday of May. So this year we had almost 1,800 volunteers sign up for 70 different sites across the basin. And they picked up more than 7,350 pounds of trash in roughly 2 hours is about the slot time that we give them. And my favorite kind of oddball item that they picked up was 25 pounds of tortilla chips. They have scales, so they did weigh that, and it was 25 pounds. But that's a lot of volunteers and a lot of action and a lot of time for people to be able to talk to each other and learn more and get that sense of community. Getting involved is really important. Additionally, we offer chloride monitoring, again, a volunteer and education opportunity. We have that Renew Our Waters campaign, which is that website that has blog posts, but we also provide tons and tons of other kinds of materials. We do school presentations and exhibit in your communities. So an overview of the benefits of being a NEWSC member. I'm a little biased, right, because I do this. But from the outside looking in, you get a greater return on your investment due to the economies of scale. You're pooling together resources of 46 different municipalities to achieve a goal of water quality in regards to stormwater. You're getting consistent messaging and education and enforcement efforts. You're reducing the workload for staff. People who are experts sometimes in stormwater, say an engineer, might not be the best person to go and educate your public, and that's what we find a lot of times, so NEWSC helps kind of fill that gap. Access to model forms, ordinances, permit language, and BMP expertise. You get additionally, you get enhanced ability to use mass media. We do so many social media posts, newsletters, e-newsletters, news stories that all cover things in your area and help educate your residents. Training for staff. We do provide a lot of different opportunities, and it's all based off of what the members say that they want and they need. And additionally, I added this one today, sorry, WDNR recognition. That doesn't sound like it's super important, but DNR holds NEWSC very highly. They recognize that they see the benefits and the efficiency of NEWSC member communities have, especially during their audits. They can see when you're a NEWSC member and they come in and they do your audits and it's check, 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 and things go really well. Calumet County was recently audited and they had the same comment of, I'm really happy you're a NEWSC member because this makes it so much easier. So yeah. But really the most important part is thank you for being a NEWSC member. You know, we we have this knowledge, right? But without the participation and support of our members, we would not be able to provide the services we do. It takes input from the whole to be able to accomplish the goals that we do. That's all I have for you. Does anybody have any questions?
Press your request to speak. Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Alyssa, for this information. Just a quick question. Don't mean to put you on the spot, so you can say you can get back to me later if you want, but how long has the organization been in existence, number one? And two, do you have some measures of tracking how you're moving toward your goals?
So NEWSC specifically, I believe, was established in 2005, but Fox Wolf, while it's gone through a couple of name changes, has been established since 1989 as a 501c nonprofit. The tracking goals, it depends on what we're looking for because each committee has the different goals that they want, right? So if it is, we need education in, I was just talking to Brent before I came in here, we need to educate our elected officials on stormwater, and how do we do that in an accessible way? Well, we see what our need is, right? We add that to our to-do list for the year, and we're almost done developing a short video series to send out to the elected officials of our different members and their municipalities to help with that. So it depends. Additionally, if we're looking at public education and outreach, the goal is to reach as many people as possible, and we do see consistently throughout the years of increasing number of people coming to our volunteer opportunities and getting involved or recognizing our name, or, hey, I'm exhibiting in your community, and I'm asking them the question of, what is stormwater? Or where does the water that goes down the storm drain go? And we're starting to get the correct answers, right? Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Alyssa.
I don't see anybody else asking any questions, so thank you, Alyssa. I really appreciate you coming.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on with David, our finance director. He's going to present the 2023 sales tax annual report, and you should have that in your packet.
Good evening. I'm going to go through the 2023 sales tax report. For those of you that have been on the county board, we annually go through that as required as part of the ordinance that created the sales tax. And when we look at the Calumet County has been using the sales tax since 2018. We use a sales tax, and it's a pretty important part of our budget. Because our sales tax really funds the capital improvements within the county, our roads and our infrastructure and some of the remodeling of the courthouse all gets funded by the sales tax. So we've been very, it's an important part of the funding of the county. And so I'll go through kind of what happened in 2023, but certainly if anyone has any questions. So the first graph on page 8 of your agenda or your packet is really the growth of the sales tax over the years. So like I said, it started in 2018. That represents 8 months. If you look at what we collected in 2023, we had just a little under $6 million for funding capital projects in for 23 and going forward. All total, we've collected a little over $27 million of sales tax funds for capital improvements. If you turn to page 2 kind of looks at where we were from a budget perspective to an actual and where we are growing. So our sales tax growth has been strong in the last couple of years. We projected as part of the 2024 budget a continued growth in that. We've seen a little bit of a slowdown in the sales tax growth, but our fund continues to be in a very strong position. But you can see we have consistently received more funds than budgeted on a monthly basis here. So we are, like I said, looking a little, we're kind of more equal in 2024, but we're relatively early in the fiscal year. If you turn to page 10, page 10 looks at the expenditures. How did we spend the sales tax funds? For 2023, we spent about $5.6 million of sales tax proceeds, with about $4.2 million of that in the highway operation. So the majority of our sales tax generally goes through either maintenance of the infrastructure, the county road system, or improvements within the highway department. We also spent, you can see we spent about $500,000 on maintenance. That was primarily the first component of some of the courthouse remodeling that is being currently undertaken and almost complete. We funded most of 2023 with ARPA funds. We started using sales tax funds near the end of 23, and we had about $1.7 million we carried over to be used in 24. We also spend money on sheriff and also on park projects in 23. Then if you turn to page 11, and page 11 says where we are today. So one of the evaluations of looking at your fund balance is how much is your fund balance committed for various different projects. As I indicated, we have about $1.7 million we're carrying forward, primarily in maintenance for the courthouse remodeling project. We also have funds carried over for highway of about $641,000, some amounts for also parks and also our sheriff's department. So we do, because these are capital projects, it generally takes a while to complete them. So we usually have carryovers. The important part to look at when you look at this graph is we have about $3.4 million of uncommitted sales tax. That means they're available for future projects. As the projects are identified, we're able to utilize this funding to fund future capital. So it gives us a very good position as we enter 24 to be able to fund our capital projects. With that, I'll entertain any questions anyone may have.
Any questions for David?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, David. All right. Moving on, I will need a motion to vote to suspend the rules, allowing a meeting for us to have a strategic planning, which is scheduled for Monday, June 24th, from 10 till noon, and we will provide lunch. It's very important that as many of you that can make it should be here, because you are looking at providing and working towards a strategic plan for 24 and beyond. So I tell you, it's very interesting. We work in different groups, and you'll be surprised what comes out of all those little quips that we put on the bulletin board or put on our sheets of the paper. We have big sheets of paper, and we write different things down from different areas. Todd will be doing that. He'll be leading the strategic plan. So I need a motion, and I do have that by Supervisor Booty and a second by Supervisor Diedrich, to have a special meeting for the strategic planning on Monday, June 24th at 10 a.m. till noon, and we will provide you with some lunch. Is there any questions regarding that meeting? If not, please vote your ballot. We have yes, 16 yes, no, and no abstentions, and 5 absent. Okay, moving on. We recommend the appointment of Tori Squires to fill a vacancy on the Extension Education Committee, and I need a motion to confirm. Motion by Supervisor Booty and a second by Supervisor Elliott. Are there any questions regarding that appointment? If not, please vote your ballot. Oh, we do have a request to speak. Who is it? Emily. Supervisor Boyd.
I'm sorry, I did not mean to surprise you. Thank you, Madam Chair. I am on this committee. Who is Tori Squires? Is it this?
She's a youth.
Okay. right, thank you. I just wanted to know since I sit on the committee and I'm the chair of the committee, it would be nice to know a little bit about who we are appointing. So thank you.
All right, thank you, Emily. All right, we have an appointment to the Extension Education Committee, and we did that already.
We have to vote.
We need to vote. All in favor? Do your ballot. Oh, yes, I see that. It's designating a public safety answering. Something's wrong.
Well, it's just- well, it's-
But it doesn't on
It's
here,
not on there.
not on our pad.
I don't know why. But we are voting for the appointment.
Yeah, we are voting for the appointment for the Extension Education Committee of Tori Squires. So please vote. It isn't going to go. IT, we have a problem.
Joe hasn't voted.
Joe has to vote.
Joe?
Dude, skip ahead. It was just on theirs.
On theirs, okay, all right. All right, it's okay now. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 0 abstain, 5 absent, so that appointment has been confirmed. Moving on to resolution.
Resolution designating a public safety answering point for Calumet County, introduced by the Public Safety Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Steer, would you speak to this resolution, please?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, y'all. This is a resolution designating a public safety point. In 2019, Wisconsin Act 26 requires the Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs to provide grants to one public safety, and that is designated as Calumet County. Any questions? Thank you.
There was also funding regarding that as well,
Yes.
Supervisor Steer.
Yes, that would make Calumet County eligible to apply for grants for the life of the grant program in Calumet County.
If there are any questions regarding that, our sheriff is also here to answer any. Seeing none, Supervisor Schwallenberg. Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. What happened before 2019, it was passed in 2019 and we're just doing it now, or is this something that we do every year, or?
We have not apparently, their money, you want to explain it, Sheriff?
Brett, you have to come up here and speak. Please. There's, I think it's $18 million each year for the biennium.
It actually increased this year to $18 million. The grant had been available in the past, but we did not take the steps to get to it. We've since changed our supervision, and the first step is to name a public answering point for Calumet County. And because our dispatch center is the only one in the county, we figured that was best.
Okay.
Once we do that, then we qualify for the grant.
What is the grants used for?
It's primarily for communication, but in talking to Motorola and Baycom, they came to us and they had a trial where they had one of the jurisdictions applied for software for their public answering, so it was part of their CAD system. So we're looking at it for that as well as some of our communication equipment.
Oh, okay.
So because of the amount of money that's in the grant, they're getting pretty broad on what they're allowing us to apply for.
So nobody ever applied for it before and all that money is out there? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, good, thank you. Thank you for the explanation.
All right, moving on to the next resolution, 2024-05.
Resolution adopting the public participation plan for the 2045 Comprehensive Plan Update, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Diedrich. And our planning director, Chris, will lead us through this whole comprehensive resolution. If you have a lot of questions, please do not hesitate to ask.
So before we get it into the public participation plan, I just want to do a brief overview on how we kind of got to where we are today, as well as go over a little bit about what the comprehensive plan is, as I'm sure there's a few members that maybe aren't quite as familiar with it, or just some new members too, just more as a refresher. So starting the process of updating the comprehensive plan has really been over a year in the making here. We really started out with performing outreach with our local municipalities, really trying to create a single unified plan. A few municipalities had already updated their plans prior to us starting it, separate from the county, but we were able to gain a wide range of support and participation from the local municipalities. We were able to partner with the cities of Brillion, the villages of Hilbert and Potter, and the towns of Brillion, Brothertown, Charlestown, Chilton, New Holstein, Rantoul, and Woodville. We're also working with the village of Harrison as well, just that they are doing their own separate plan from the county, but we're kind of working with them as part of it. Getting into some of our introductions here, as a group, we knew that this project was really going to be larger than what we were going to be able to handle internally. So we decided to do an RFP, or request for proposal, last year, and we selected SRF Consulting to help us with this update. Pictured are the team members from SRF, which you may see at some of our public engagement events. Mitch is our primary point of contact that we deal with. We're typically doing bi-weekly meetings with Mitch, just kind of doing check-ins to see where we are in the process. So a comprehensive plan is really, it's a long-range planning tool used by communities to help guide the physical development of the community itself. With that said, a comprehensive plan is a general guide for each municipality. It doesn't include enforceable actions within the plan. The enforcement component itself comes from other elements such as zoning ordinances, which are shaped by the comprehensive plan. Statutes require that a plan include at minimum the pictured 9 elements, but it leaves it up to each municipality really in how you want to address those items. The plans then must be updated at least once every 10 years. Let's jump through some of these here. So all these phrases are really what makes up a comprehensive plan. The document's intended to be inclusive, utilizing community engagement to help elected officials and staff create a plan for the future growth of their community. The plans are often referred to as living documents, as they are routinely updated to match the needs of the overall community itself. So really, what does the comprehensive plan do? The primary function of the planning process is to provide an assessment of the community's needs and establish the long-term goals and objectives within measurable steps that can then be taken to achieve them. So really, you're really looking at a long-range 20-year planning process. Our current plan is technically due in 2025, and we're looking to have this plan be our 2045 plan itself. Really, you're looking at it from the 10-year segments, in which we would then update it, say, every 10 years. But other communities, you can update it in a less shorter fashion than that. I know there's some municipalities that typically do like a 5-year refresher, just so it's not as much that you have to do update every single time. So as part of the planning process, we're going to be working with SRF on the plan in 5 phases, with the first phase focusing on updating the county's existing community profile, which includes our demographics, as well as analyzing our current plan contents. That second phase then would focus on identifying the community issues, which focuses really on our public engagement, as well as distributing our community surveys. That's really the main function of that second phase. Then the third and fourth phase that focuses on taking those issues that we've identified in the second phase and trying to come up with potential solutions that can then be implemented as part of the plan. The primary function in that phase, or primarily the third and fourth phases, would be the land use elements. It's really one of the major components that a lot of the municipalities focus on. And then the fifth stage will be combining of all the elements together really into a single document. we're going to be taking a little bit of a different approach than what we have in the past. So instead of having several hundred-page documents, we're trying to make it more of an engaging, interactive, more of an online document that we'll have. So there'll be more interactive maps, it'll be less text, more visuals for you to actually utilize. And then this is essentially what our project schedule looks like. We're currently in the phase 1 right now, working with analyzing our existing plan, as well as we've got a draft of our demographics that we're also updating right now too. Our engagement tools and activities, the public participation plan before you today is another component of the comprehensive plan, which is required to be adopted per state statutes. Within the document, we've outlined several ways in which we plan to engage with the communities, and the first one of that is our working group. The working group, it's really a small group of the municipalities that are participating in the plan. We've got the city of Brillion, the village of Hilbert, and then the towns of Woodville and Brothertown that are part of that plan, in addition to 3 representatives from the county. So we're essentially that first line of defense. We take a look at what's essentially being proposed, and then we can provide some general guidance with our consultant for the overall group then. From there, we're doing direct engagement with our partnering municipalities, which we're able to have group and individual meetings with our consultants to really voice their concerns. And then the other 3 elements really focus on direct engagement with citizens. That's more utilizing the community surveys, open houses, and public workshops, in addition to participating in community pop-up events. We're still working on identifying those particular pop-up events and different community engagements, but really the overall intent, I can show you the timeline of our engagement here. The overall intent of the public participation plan is really to just provide a general outline that's vague of what it is that we're intending to do. And the primary intent of that is just that it's flexible enough so that we're able to pivot in case one of the elements that we're utilizing isn't working, so then we're able to do something else. Not every municipality really reacts the same way to either a pop-up event or doing a survey, so it really gives us that flexibility to use a different element if we want to. So, that's it for the presentation. So if you have any questions on the plan itself, that's provided for you guys in the packet itself. That's starting on page 15.
Thank you. I have a couple questions. Is this, when you're talking about public engagement, are you talking the entire county or the member communities that you're working with?
We're looking at the entire county, essentially. If there's a community that decided not to participate with us, we're not excluding them from it. Everyone's able to participate as part of it.
How do you plan on getting the word out to the different people in the county?
Yeah, so right now we're working on creating our online surveys that we'll have. We'll also going to be doing a bunch of social media engagements besides our different pop-up events that we're going to be doing too. So if there's larger community events that are going on, we're working with the municipalities right now to figure out which ones that we want to attend, either with our consultants or we're going to have different members from the other communities, because we don't really want our consultant to be a part of that as much. We want a recognizable face to be able to engage with the public as well. So we're working on kind of figuring out which of those events, but that's going to be our primary way that we'll engage with the general public. We'll have it available on our websites as well too.
Is there going to be some kind of flyer that we could hand out to our constituents?
Yep, that can be something that we do too. We're right now currently in the draft process on what our survey is. Once that's finalized, then we can get all of our documents out. We've also been updating our website right now too. We've got a sign-up sheet that people are able to essentially put your name and email address on, and then we're able to provide any updates to them as they come out.
Okay, thank you.
Supervisor Diedrich? Oh, I'm sorry. Are there any other questions? I'm just curious in how are you going to get the people in your outlying areas, like saying part of Appleton and Harrison and Menasha and them? How are you going to get those individuals engaged? Are you going to have a meeting or letting them know that this is happening? How are you going to gather all these people together?
Yeah, it's essentially a little bit of everything there. So that's kind of the intent and why it is as vague as what it is, so that we're able to go to these different meetings. We're able to go to them per se, as compared to having our open public houses as much, where we're asking people to come to us. They're typically not as well engaging in those events. So that's why we've got the community surveys that you're able to do. You're able to fill out that information in your own house if you want to. Just a wide range of different things. That's what I said. It's very vague, and that's really the intent of why it is as vague as it is.
Supervisor Boyd?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I actually was wondering that myself because representing us, my district is Appleton, and it's almost entirely residential. And when knocking on doors, so many people were like, "Oh, I thought we lived in Outagamie County." So, like,
Right.
the lack of awareness of where we are, because we're in Appleton and we do receive some services from Outagamie County, they think they live in Outagamie County. So I think that's going to be something that you might want to really work on, is that small chunk of Appleton especially, and Menasha too, getting them to know what county they actually live in and where to go when they need services, because that was something, because a lot of them were thinking they just, I'll just go downtown, I'll just go to Appleton and get my help for this, and it's like, no, they're not going to help, they can't help you. So,
Yep.
just so that you are aware. Not, that was not a question, that was just a comment. Thank you.
Yep, that's why it's going to be one of our primary focuses too, is that public engagement. That's always one of the most difficult parts of really doing comprehensive plans, is getting the general public to engage in any of these things. So that's what we're really going to focus on, a lot of social media engagement too, to the extent that we can, sharing all this with all the local municipalities as well. That's why we've got so many of them that are partnering with us really to make the process easier.
Hopefully you'll give us some update as we go along, see how we're progressing. Supervisor Holschuh.
May we have the website address,
It's right on the county's website. If you actually go to the popular information tab,
Yeah.
and then you can click on the 2045 comprehensive plan update.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, I see no other questions then, and we need to vote on that resolution, so please vote your ballot. And this is adopting the public partition and plan for the 2045 comprehensive plan update. And we have 16 yes, 0 nay, 0 abstain, and 5 absent. Okay, and thank you, Chris. All right, moving on to ordinances. Ordinance 2024-1.
Ordinance to amend the Calumet County Code of Ordinances by creating Chapter 2, Article 1, Section 2.5, wills deposited with register and probate, introduced by the Public Safety Committee.
All right, I have a motion by Supervisor Steer and a second by Supervisor Schwallenberg. And Supervisor Steer, would you speak to this ordinance, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. This ordinance, like I said, was brought forward to the Public Safety Committee by the Register and Probate. What it basically states is they no longer will accept wills to be deposited at the Register and Probate effective June 1st, 2024. I don't believe many have been deposited. I think one. So they no longer will do that. Thank you.
Are there any questions regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. 16 yes, 0 no, 5 absent, so that ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to ordinance 2024-02.
Ordinance to amend Chapter 82 zoning code on certain property in the town of Woodville, property of Net Mildred C. Irrevocable Trust, introduced by the Planning, Zoning, and Farmland Preservation Committee.
I have a motion by Supervisor Diedrich and a second by Supervisor Booty. And Nick or Chris, who's going to handle this ordinance? You are? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Madam Chair. The Mildred Net Irrevocable Trust and agent Jordan Schrader are requesting to rezone approximately 1.78 acres from exclusive ag to agricultural, residential, and approximately 69.42 acres from exclusive ag to exclusive agricultural preservation in the town of Woodville. The request will allow Jordan to create a non-farm residence and preserve farmland in accordance with the zoning ordinance. Chris is available for any questions.
Okay, I already have a motion. Okay. Are there any questions regarding this ordinance? Seeing none, please vote your ballot. We have 16 yes, 0 nay, 5 absent. The ordinance has been adopted. Moving on to supervisor reports, and I would just like to start out with that by saying all of you should have gotten an email from Wisconsin Counties Association, probably from Sarah Diedrich, regarding steering committee appointments. You need to fill out that form. There is a form there that they sent with that, and whichever committee you wish to be on, I will have to sign it then, or you can send it in directly to Sarah with your iPad, and then I will just authorize them in one sweep of my signature. So Supervisor Booty? Excuse me, are there any questions regarding that? I know several of you belong to steering committees. There's public transportation, there's Health and Human Services, there's public safety, and Finance? Oh, finance, salary and finance. If any of you are on any of those committees and you want to learn more about them, then I would encourage you to go. I would say that I probably will allow maybe 2 on each committee. Years before, we used to have 5 on a committee. I think if we can keep it down to 2 or 3, but I encourage you new members to take advantage of this because it's very, very informational. Right now, I'm not sure where they're going to have the meetings. It's either going to be at the Dells, and they may all be virtual. So you will get notified of that. So don't wait with your applications because those meetings are going to be coming up soon. Thank you. All right, now Supervisor Booty, sorry.
At our Highway Committee meeting in May, Wisconsin DOT staff came to visit us. They gave us a recap of the 2023 to 2024 winter maintenance operations. Calumet County had a 31% less severity than the 5-year average was. So I've got additional data about salt usage and brine applications in case anyone wants those particular numbers. They also presented us the current 5-year project timeline. There are currently no projects planned for 2024 construction, but again, if you have any questions about what their other projects are in the timeline are, ask me and I can give you that information. Thanks.
Thank you, Supervisor Booty. Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. You had nothing, Supervisor Schwallenberg.
No,
What
me.
do you want? All right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to let you know I filled out for the Public Safety
All right,
Steering
thank you.
Committee online. Thank you.
My outfit's not working here. Supervisor Diedrich.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Administrative Service Committee, just want to give you a quick heads up. We welcomed 2 student members to our committee, Dane Freund and Emma Wagner. Emma, you met tonight when she was introduced earlier. And we also had an update from our finance director on the unaudited budget for 2023. The numbers look pretty good. You'll get the final audit in a month or 2 whenever that's done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Supervisor Diedrich. Supervisor Schwallenberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Parks is fully staffed with seasonal staff this year. This is a first for a long time. I think it's due to the salary increase that the county decided to do last year. We've added 2 new playgrounds. If you go down to the park, one is across from maintenance, one is down in the beginning, I don't even know what you call it, the beginning of the park down by the water. The southern bathhouse will be completed soon, and according to Adam, it's done very well. I won't talk about the cabins. We're still working on those. hopefully they'll be done for June. So as far as human services, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're almost through the month of May. This is more than just raising awareness, but you should also remember to take care of yourself. If you have somebody to talk to, if you need somebody to talk to, it's very helpful. So just not consider everybody else, but consider yourself as well. According to our health officer, there's been an outbreak of measles in the state. There was something new that I had not known before, that if you have measles, it can affect the immunity of your immune system of the other vaccines you've received, which no longer be effective, because measles is one of the most infectious viruses known. There's also been an outbreak of whooping cough or pertussis in Brown County, if you've been paying attention to the news. Updated immunization requirements for 2024 child care and the school year is meningitis vaccine is a new vaccine that will be added, and parent report of chickenpox is no longer accepted. You need to get a report from a health provider. Also, the other requirements stay the same. The exemptions are still the same for medical, religious, or personal convictions. We had a year-end report. We will bring it to the next meeting. It describes all the services that Human Services and Health offer, and it's an excellent job done by our staff that they do every year describing the services that we provide. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Schmallenberg. Supervisor Tunis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to let everybody know that I went to the COWS meeting.
Have you got your mic on? Thank you.
I went to the COWS meeting last week, and I found it very interesting. There was nobody else at the meeting that I went to from Calumet County, but there were a number of new supervisors there, as well as people that had been on their county boards for quite some time getting a refresher. But I found it very informative. It also made me think, and I would recommend it to anybody that they go to that meeting if the opportunity presents itself again.
Thank you, Supervisor Tunis, and thank you for going. All right, next on the agenda, you have the County Administrator's report. Are there any questions regarding his report? All right, then we have the reappointment of Nick Kessler to the Residents Commission of the Palisades Pond Lake District. His term will expire on April 20th, 2026. I have a motion by Supervisor Boyd and seconded by Supervisor Moody for this reappointment. Are there any questions? Please vote your ballot for the reappointment of Nick Kessler. We have 15 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, and 5 absent. Okay. All right, we also have the appointment to the Calumet County Traffic Commission, and we are, Todd is recommending the appointment of Kent Catalenic to fill the vacancy on the Calumet County Traffic Safety Commission. His term will expire on April 20th, 2026. I have a motion by Supervisor Johnston and a second by Supervisor Booty for this appointment. Are there any questions? Please vote your ballot on this appointment. Okay. 15 yes, 0 no, 1 abstain, 5 absent. Okay. All right, our next regular meeting will be June 18th at 6:00 p.m. And also remember, at that time, we will do that training session as well as other items on the agenda. With all the agenda items completed, I will adjourn the meeting. Thank you. Drive